think Mary has a great moment in season 1 where she calls Ava out on that, where she calls
Yeah,
her out on
great.
this inherent selfishness that she's had because she's had no other way to live life up until this point.
That's a great scene with those two, isn't it? And I like the scene where
It
they
really is.
when they're in the church together as well and they go to sleep.
Right.
Use. Um, do you know what's really funny? When I got that episode 6 of season 1, I was like, I went to Simon. I was like, nothing happens. I was kind of because I had all the fights in 5 and loads of stuff happens. They jump on the ferry, and I was like, dude, they just talk. Um, and he was like, it was kind of a test to see how good of a director I was, I think. And Zach said that to me as well. We have like when you have an episode where there's like lots of action and loads of stuff going on in a show like that, in an episodic show, then you usually have an episode. I don't want to say the word filler because that does it a disservice, but it's kind of a backstory episode. It's a downbeat episode. Not much happened. You know what I mean? It's slower. It tells the audience a lot of things they need to know about the characters. Um, so and it had the butcher fight at the end, which was like very cool and exciting. Um, but yeah, I basically like episode 5 season 1 was like, okay, I'm shooting Buffy, and episode 6 season 1 was like, okay, I'm shooting European art house cinema. That's literally how I looked at it. And that's how I tried to shoot it. I was like, they're in Spain, they're wandering around, it's character driven. Alba's having like growth emotionally, and it's kind of existential. And Toya's pointing out loads of things about her character to her. And I guess it's kind of the episode where she changes from not wanting to be the warrior nun to okay, I'm the warrior nun. And that's cemented in the butcher scene at the end, the fight in the butchers, where she has to step up and do it on her own without Toya. Um, and what's cool about that, and this is, I don't know if you guys know this already. So Simon didn't want to shoot handheld because he wanted it to look cinematic. And that butcher shop was so small. And it was like, and those like tripods and dollies are so big. And it was such a kind of vicious like fight. And she's got no skills. She's not like Beatrice. She's not graceful. You know what I mean? She's not learned to be a fighter yet. And I went to him and I sat with my DP as well. And I went to Simon and I said, I want to ask you something. And I know it's against the rules, but can we please shoot this fight handheld? And he was super cool. He's like, why? And I gave him like all my, I was like, one, like technically it's a really small space, but like two, I think like the way the fight is choreographed, because like she hits him with a piece of chicken at one point, I think, like, and like the knife swipes, like we can just move really fast in that space, and we can give it this real punchy energy, which we don't, which will be different from the side fights in season in episode 5, because in episode 5 the fights were between like Toya and Lorena, who are skilled fighters in different ways. Like Toya boxes, and Lorena is like very skilled with the sword and stuff, and the karate stuff. Um, and I'm like, Ava's never fought, so it can be messy, it can be ragged. And he was like, yeah, go for it. And I think that really helped, and it made the fight really good. So these things like that, like, and that's having a good showrunner.
Another, like, one of the touches that you had on Warrior Nun. Can you tell us a couple more that you brought in that we don't know about?
I'm trying to think. Like, I'll tell you something that I suggested cutting, which I shouldn't have suggested cutting. Um, and this is again testament to Simon. He was like, "No, I'm not cutting that. It's cool." And I was like, "Is it?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he's right. You know when Toya kicks her off the cliff? It's funny. And we were really struggling to find a cliff. We'd found I'd gone everywhere looking for it. I think I went over the whole of Spain looking for this cliff, and we had so little time to find because I think there was so few sets that are shot in season 1 and in season 2, I think. So we're using actual locations. So like all those Spanish countryside things, that's just us walking around the Spanish countryside looking for shots, me with my phone taking photos, you know. And I couldn't find a good cliff or a safe cliff. And I was like, should we just cut the cliff? Is it that funny? Is it really that good? And he was like, no, it's really that good. You're not cutting the cliff because it's more work for me. And I was like, the fight's more interesting, and like the emotional scene in the caves is more interesting. Like that cliff's taking so much time out of my day. And he said, no, get the cliff. And then we found a cliff and we made it work, and it was really great. And I loved that we didn't cut it. The entrance to the cave, we could not find an entrance to a cave anywhere, right? And people, no one knows this. So we have a thing like where we shoot, we have like what's called unit base, right? Where all the trailers and stuff are with the kit, the equipment, you know, the actors' trailers, everything. So we had this unit base like off this beaten track on this little kind of car park. And there was a weird, it was like a hill, and it had a little crevice. And you could walk into it. There was no cave. Like you basically walked in 2 foot and then hid around the corner. And I'm searching for this cave for days. And I got back to unit base. I don't think I was shooting already. And I just saw this little hole in the hill. And I just went, what about that? And they were like, are you serious? And I was like, because it's in the middle of unit base. Like, we're not shooting anything there. It's where all the trailers are. And I'm like, I can't find a cave. And you haven't found a cave. And we have 2 days and we need a cave. Like, and I was like, I think if you look at the episode, I'm like, if we do the shot like this and we tighten up and we don't show any of this or any of that, like, it looks like a little entrance to a cave. And so we ended up using it. And Toya's like, well, I just walk in and hide around the corner. And I'm like, yeah. So Toya literally walks in and goes, and everyone thinks it's a cave, and it's not. It's like, it doesn't go anywhere. But it's little things like that, like time and the money. It's like just constantly being creative and looking for that's how you be an indie filmmaker, though. Like it's tricks like that.